Hello there, welcome to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2. And today, I think we will only be creating a character. Alright, so first you got races. Depending on the race, depending on the sub-race of the race, depends on whether you have minus, or plus, or whatever. I usually go with a dwarf. And if you guys want to read these, you can go ahead and pause the video and stuff. But if you don't, then, yeah, then you don't have to pause anything, really. Elves look like this. Face, stuff. Gnomes. You got gnomes here. Halfling. Right there. Super tiny. Half elf, which is like, it just looks like a human to me. I don't get it. But yeah. You got half orcs. And humans. I don't usually go with humans, really. I think that's a little boring, but we might, because I don't actually know what their thing is. So you got your stats here. Plain touch is like kind of like half demon, half person. Or no, to an outsider. So it could be like, oh, sorry, hand over. I don't know if you noticed difference in the audio for a minute there, but that was like my hand going over my mouth, like that. Scratching my side of my nose. Anyway, it's just a general word to describe someone who can trace his or her bloodline back to an outsider. So, heritage may be celestial, fiendish, or elemental. So this guy could be like half fire elemental, half human, or whatever. But today, I know it's a little boring, but I think we should just go with humans. Alright, this is how tall, height, obviously how tall he is, girth. I don't know what girth means, but I think it's how fat he is. But I'd like to be like super skinny. I like facial hair. I do like that face, but if we do a different head, he'll have different facial hair. Actually, now that I think about it, that guy kind of looks like a blacksmith. If I change his hair to something a little more, looks like a blacksmith. Could be a blacksmith in a, yeah, see, could be like a little blacksmith in Skyrim. You know, kind of just make it a little more detailed. Anyway, yeah. So I like that head, actually. I'm going to keep that head. You're not going to have good hair. I'm sorry. I don't like any of the hair they have. But it's just, yeah. Let's go with an eye color that I don't ever use or that I don't have. Gray should be fine. Light gray. Yeah, gray. Okay. Eyebrow color. Eyebrows can be a different color than your hair. And highlights. I freaking wish you could, like, turn off highlights, but you can't, so you have to set it to the same color in order to make it look like there's no highlights. Now, there are sometimes accessories in your hair, but it doesn't look like I have one. First, I'm going to set it to red so it stands out. Yeah, see, I don't have one, I don't think. Alright, so, yeah. And this is what your stats look like so far. And humans, there's no, like, sub-race for humans, so they already have, like, no matter what you choose as far as humans go, it's already like that. Here, I'm just gonna pull it. Alright, there we go. I'm a little closer now. Probably hear my audio better. Anyway, so we click next. This is what our stats look like so far, don't forget. So you got barbarians. Also, this game is based off of Dungeons and Dragons. So it uses the dice system thing, like when you play the board game, or when people do Dungeons and Dragons games and stuff. Like, in real life. Like, the board game, you know, where it's like, you have a game master who makes up everything, and then you guys roll for everything. Perception check, you know. Anyway, so this game is based off that. So, like, if, okay, this guy has a hit die of D12. So it's like one dice and it's 12-sided. Alright? So you have a range from 1 to 12. This is your hit die. So if I came over here, oh, sorry, I'll show you later what. All right. So, but if I did a bard, for example, he has a 6-sided die, etc. So yeah, I'm not gonna be bothered with reading this since I have like a 15-minute thing, but still, bard has a 6-sided die, etc. Is basic. I'm only gonna read like some of the stuff here, like the short stuff. This guy has high saves and fortitude, high attack, etc. I like to be a rogue. I'm not gonna go through all the classes because that goes all the way down to prestige class, prestige class, prestige class, all the way down to wizard. That's like a lot of classes. So I'm just gonna tell you what this guy's about. He has a medium attack bonus. His high saves are in reflex, and his 6-sided die for his hit. So I can hit 1 through 6, and then I'll show you. So he has a 6-sided die. So we just gotta remember that so I can explain it to you. Now I could recommend, and it will recommend me a person. See, so it recommends me a fighter is a human, but I don't want to be a fighter. I want to be a rogue. So let's be a rogue. Actually, if I go back, it also tells you what the recommended thing is for them. If I can find it. I'm not going to. Alignment, recommended alignment. So, like, one of them said, any non-lawful. So if I put this or this, it wouldn't be good for my character. Really? Anything lawful. But I like to be, like, super evil. So I like to be super evil in a video game. And in this game, I'm not going to be evil, though. Because I'm always chaotic evil. I'm going to probably be a neutral this time. And see what happens. So now I have a deity. Now, since I'm usually chaotic evil, I usually choose Cyric for Prince of Lies, the Dark Sun, the Black Sun. Because my portfolio is murder, lies, intrigue, deception, and illusion, which is stuff that are in my not background, because we get to do that later. Spoilers. But let's choose a neutral one. Neutral, right here. The Water Lord, King of the Water, Elementals. Justitia. I want something cooler. I want it to match, too. Neutral, good. Neutral, here we go. The Lord of Flames. The Fire Lord, something, yeah. Elemental fire, so my portfolio is Elemental Fire, Purification through Fire. And his favorite weapon is a flail. I hate flails. Whatever. Anyway. So this is, I like to go ahead and set everything back to +0. It's the first thing I spend my points on. And I have 20 points left. So, because that -1, like if I roll a 6, right? If the game rolls me a 6, it'll -1 from that 6, so I only do 5. So I only get 5. So that's bad. You never want that. That's what I always do, though. See if I can also recommend and stuff. So let's put this back down. But I don't like to recommend. It takes the fun out of creating my character for me. Like if I wanted just a preset character from recommended, I could have just went to select a character. So let's put everything back to 10. Strength, we are a rogue. We don't really need this. It's not really high. But dexterity, it does armor class. Right? Reacting. It adds the dexterity bonus to the armor class, making, this guy harder to hit, And it adds dexterity to the range attack rolls, too. And reflex saving throws, so it's harder to hit me again. So avoiding fireballs and things that are, launched at me, I guess. Things like that, it says. So, yeah. And this ability is most important for rogues, warlocks, and swashbucklers. But also for characters who typically wear light or medium armor, so, etc. So, again, if you want to read all this, you can pause it, etc. So here's what our stats are. By the way, this number here, this is how devoted we are to our thing, I think. I don't actually go to the stats, I just look at the info. Alright, so we're going to have +2 dexterity, so it's going to add +2 to our dexterity. Constitution is hit points, and fortitude saving throws. Fortitude saving throws are used to resist poison and similar threats, so just poisons and stuff like that. So we can add +1 to it because rogues are supposed to be sly, so it's good for them to resist that. Now, intelligence is good for skill points, which is good for, I think these are skill points actually, which is good for this. Or is it, I don't know. Anyway, good for skill points. And higher intelligence, the more skill points we get when we level up, basically. And it's also good for spellcasting. So, yeah, and it does say it's important for rogues, too. So, yeah. Wisdom. Will saving throws, which are used to avoid effects of spells, such as, like, Charm Person. I don't actually know what that does. But, like, spells like, I don't know. I don't really use spells in this. I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not a big wizard fan when it comes to games like this. This game is actually really hard to be a wizard in. It's really hard. And it's also used for divine spellcasting, which we don't need to read because, yeah, and monk abilities, and we're not a monk. So we don't care about this information. All we care about is this right here. And it's not really important. And also, if you're not a very good, like, RPG kind of guy, with this stuff, like a very good kind of stat guy, kind of tells you what's important down here for what things. So this, it doesn't say rogue, so, but wisdom is good to have to avoid spells, so we're going to add +1 to that. And charisma is used for class abilities, like when a paladin or a cleric, paladins and clerics have the ability to turn undead, but it is determined by the charisma score. And paladins, bards, and spirit shamans have abilities other abilities, which use the charisma as well. So that's not important for us. And spellcasting, we don't really use spells, so this is not important for rogues. I can already tell you that now. But, you know, if you don't read, like, if you don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't know. But charisma is good to have as a rogue because of the simple fact, and the game doesn't tell you that either, but because of the simple fact, oh, and it modifies the diplomacy, bluff, and intimidate skill checks too. So, but it's good for, like, personality stuff, like when you're talking to people, you know, it's good for dialogue, I guess, for special dialogue. Like if you had to persuade somebody to do something, you know, it's good for that. So we're going to add +2 to that. And then I guess strength is for, like, how hard we hit, attack bonuses, and damage with melee weapons, and carrying capacity as well. So it is good for this stuff down here. So we're going to add +1 to that, and I think we should add +1 to, or +2 more of these points here. I think they're called skill points. I'm not sure, because there's also another thing I'll show you here in a minute. I think we should add it to our intelligence. Oh, I can't. Oh, well, we'll just add it to our strength. It's fine. It's good for attacking. So, like, this guy rolls a 6-sided die, so if I have +2, so when I hit people with melee weapons, it's going to add 2 to, if I roll, like, a 1, it's going to add 2 to that 1 and make it a 3. So, again, this game runs off of a D&D. So, anyway, that's all the time we have for today. And I will go on to the next thing, the next character creation in the next episode. And I don't have an outro, so I'm just going to say bye. Bye.